Hello, I'm Emily Bryson. I'm going to be teaching you All Too Well by Taylor Swift on the guitar. So the cool thing I love about the song is that it's simple four chords, and it's four chords that are used in many pop songs written by all different artists. This song I actually first learned on ukulele when I was first beginning the ukulele. It's an easy song to learn. It's catchy. It's fun. So I started learning it on guitar too. So just so you can hear a little bit. I walked through the door with you. Air was cold, something that it felt like home somehow. And I took my scarf there at your sister's house, and you still got it in your drawer, even now. Oh, your sweet disposition, my wide-eyed gaze, sitting in the car, getting lost upstate. Your autumn leaves falling down like pieces into place, and I can picture it after all these days. And I know it's long gone, and there was nothing else I could do. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to. 'Cause there we are again in the middle of the night, dancing around the kitchen in the refrigerator light. Down the stairs, I was there, I remember it all too well. Photo album on the counter, your cheeks were turning red. Used to be a little kid with glasses in a twin-sized bed. Your mother's telling stories about you on the T-ball team. You tell me about your past, thinking your future was me. And I know it's long gone, and there was nothing else I could do. And I forget about you long enough to forget why I needed to. 'Cause there we are again in the middle of the night, we're dancing around the kitchen in the refrigerator light. Down the stairs, I was there, I remember it all too well. Time won't fly, it's like I'm paralyzed by it. Like to be my old self again, but I'm still trying to find it. After pleasure days and nights when you made me your own, you mail back my things and I walk home alone. But you keep my old scarf from that very first week, 'cause remind you of innocence and smells like me. You can't get rid of it, 'cause you remember it all too well. And here we are again when I loved you so, and back before you lost the one real thing you've ever known. It was rare, I was there, I remember it all. Down the stairs, you were there, you remember it all. It was rare, I was there, I remember it all too well. Okay, awesome. So just to begin, the first chord you're going to have to know is G. And before we even talk about chords, let's talk about this little purple thing I have on here. This is something called a capo. To be honest, I really use it because it makes it a little bit easier to play. The idea of it is really so it transposes. I put it up 3 frets so that it was in a better key for me to sing, so it wasn't too low. But honestly, when you put it on the strings, it does make it easier to play. So G major. Let's begin with G major. It's the first chord typically a lot of people learn on guitar because the key of G major is pretty easy to play. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your second finger, this one, on this string right here. It's the second string from the top, and it is the second fret over from either the end of the guitar or from the capo. So right there. And then your middle finger, you're going to put on the first string, the top string, and you're going to put it on the third fret over from the capo or the top of the guitar. It's going to look just like that. Now, with your ring finger, you're going to put it all the way on the bottom one, on the same fret as your middle finger. So that's what this looks like. And then when you add the index finger, it goes like that. Now, my fingers weirdly bend, as you can probably see. It's usually a lot easier for other people. I have weird joints, but it works out either way. Some tips that I've been given, because I did struggle a little bit when I first started learning, is that if you play towards the tip of your finger instead of in the middle, you won't, because sometimes you won't touch the other strings. Because sometimes what you can do is go, and that's an example of my other fingers touching the strings kind of getting in the way. It does still happen sometimes, happens to everyone, but that's okay, you just keep playing. Also, another tip is playing closer to the fret, these little bars, instead of all the way over here. Little bit easier to play closer here. Also, try not to hold the strings too tight, and try not to hold them too loose. Too tight. Now, the next chord is going to be D major. Now, D major is going to be your index finger on this bottom string, once again, on the second fret. I gotta check it. Your middle finger on the third string from the bottom, also on the same fret. So that's what those two fingers look like. And then your ring finger in the string in the middle, but on the next fret over. Now, something interesting about this chord, you're not going to string all of the strings, you're just going to strum the bottom 4. There you go. So one pretty difficult thing about guitar, at least something that I struggled with in the beginning, was going from one chord and then going pretty quickly to the next chord. Something I'm still struggling with, especially as I learn new chords, but it's just a matter of practice. And you can do that as many times as you want. We're going to do it a few times together, counting pretty slowly, and you can just stop and rewind the video at any time that helps for you. So we're going to go 1, and we're going to strum 4 times, just like that, on G, and then D, and then G again, and then D. Yeah, I'll count off. 1, 2, ready, go. Switch it to D. Back to G. And G one more time. So once you got these 2 chords down, you can go on to E minor. And then E minor is the second fret over, right here. And you're going to put your index finger on the second string to the top, that one right there. And you put your middle finger on the third string to the top, or the 4th from the bottom, right like that. There you go. This one's pretty easy, my favorite. Again, don't press too hard, don't press too soft, and just watch that your fingers don't get messed with the other strings. So then from the E minor chord, we're going to go to C major. C major is a little bit more difficult, but not too difficult. You're going to go on the first fret. Your index finger is going to go the second string from the bottom. This one right here. And then your third finger is going to go from the third string from the top, or the fourth string from the bottom. So that's what that looks like so far. Okay, cool. So then the fourth finger, ring finger, is going to go to the next string, the second string from the top, or one string above the middle finger. And they're also, each finger has its own fret. So what you just heard is a few of my fingers were leaning on the strings below them. If you hear that kind of sound, that's okay. Just readjust. Make sure that the strings are being held down by the tips of your fingers. There we go. So going from E minor, back here, to then going to C major. Also, I should probably note that E minor, you're going to strum all the strings. And C major, you're not going to strum the top. Not going to strum the top string, but you're going to do all the bottom ones. So let's do that again really slowly like we did before. 1, 2, ready, go. Cool, great job. So now we're going to put the entire thing together. Now the strumming pattern, I actually change it every time a little bit. What I usually do is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's just kind of how I hear it on the soundtrack, how I hear it on the recording when Taylor Swift plays it. But really, you can do anything you want. Right now, we're just going to make it simple. Make sure you don't get that top 2 strings like I just did. I walk through the door with you. And then just 2. Air was cold. Sunlit night, it felt like home somehow, and I left my scarf there at your sister's house, and you still got it in your drawer even now. Okay, awesome. So now let's go a little bit to the pre-chorus. So the cool thing about the pre-chorus is you're actually going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be G, D, same as always, E minor, back to D, and then C as it builds up to the chorus. So let's go over that one more time. So you do your normal progression from G to D to E minor. But instead of going to C from here, you're going to go back to D major. And then you're going to go to C. It's like you take a little detour on the way. And then back to G. So that's about it for that. Again, you can do any strumming pattern you want. You could change it up a little bit, whatever makes you comfortable. Change the capo around. And that's